Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sammy Ketchum, and welcome back to Sammy Ketchum TCG. Tonight, we are going to be taking an in-depth look at a Miraidon EX deck. Alright? Now, I've done Miraidon EX on this channel a lot, because it is basically the main deck that I personally play. I've been playing this deck for a long time, ever since it came out, before it came out, testing it, everything. I've had its ups and downs with the deck. I've won a lot of league challenges and maybe 1 or 2 league cups with this deck. I've done really well at regionals and at NAIC this past year with this deck. So I have lots of experience with this deck when I talk about Miraidon EX. Alright? This is going to be a Surging Sparks in-depth deck profile. Alright? And in this video, we are going to talk about mainly Miraidon and how Miraidon is going to adapt in Surging Sparks. You know, with the new cards that are being printed out. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into this deck profile. Alright? Miraidon EX, the main star of the show. Alright? The golden boy himself. Alright? 220 HP. Alright? It has this amazing ability. Tandem unit. Alright? You may search your deck for up to 2 lightning Pokemon, basic Pokemon, and put them onto your bench. Alright? You can do this as many times as you have bench spaces. If you have, you can go Miraidon, search for something, and then another Miraidon, and then use this Miraidon to search for something, and then another Miraidon, and then that Miraidon to search for 2 other things. Alright? And now that we have Area 0 Underdepths as a stadium, we can have up to 8 bench Pokemon. Miraidon could search out a lot more, or has the potential to search out a lot more and get your lightning Pokemon onto the bench. Okay. Also, its attack, 2 lightning and a colorless Photon Blaster. Alright, for 220 damage. It's actually pretty decent. Very decent attack. Not to be slept on. Iron Hands EX. Alright. Has 2 very good attacks. We've got 2 copies here. Alright. This card is going to be very good. Still moving forward. Alright. The first attack, Arm Press, actually isn't bad, especially against Pokemon that are weak against lightning. 160 times 2 is 320. So you're doing lots of damage for weakness there. And its next attack, Amp You Very Much, for 120. If you get a knockout with that attack, you take an extra prize card. So you can kill off things like little Charmanders, little Dusknors, Duskulls, kill off things like little Pidgeys, kill off things like Noctowls, anything that's under 120 HP, kill off things like Rotoms, Dreepies, you know, you know what I'm saying? You know, anything that's under 120 is going down and you're taking an extra prize card. This is absolutely busted. Two copies of Raikou V. Raikou V. Alright? We got two copies. Not one copy, two copies. This card is going to save your life against Raging Bolt. Okay? We now have a decent time into the Raging Bolt matchup because of Raikou V and its attack. Normally we wouldn't, but with Area Zero Underdepths and a Terra Pokemon in play, we can now have 8 Pokemon on our bench. With 8 Pokemon on our bench, we are able to hit for more damage and we're able to do so much more. With 8 Pokemon on our bench, that is 160 plus the 20, which is 180. And then you add your opponent's bench. Alright? But you just don't automatically just, okay, I'm gonna plop it down and go right into Raikou. You know what I'm saying? You do this at the right time. There's timing behind doing it. There's a right time to do it. There's a wrong time to do it. You know? If you see that your opponent is limiting their bench, you know what I'm saying? Before you even do Electric Generator, before you even power anything up, you can look at their field and see what they're doing. You can look at their field and see if you can go for it or not. So you have the option to sit there and say, hey, can I get there with Raikou or do I have to make a different play? You have the option to do that with this deck. So if you can get there, and if you see they have enough bench Pokemon for you to get there with Raikou, and you can easily power him up, go for it. Go for it, use him, get him out, take those 2 prizes with Lightning Rondo. Alright? It also has a very great ability to draw a card when it's in the active spot. I honestly hate the ability because every time I draw with it, I draw an energy card. It never fails. But he does have this ability. One Raichu V. Alright? This card is back in this deck for this format because of the Surging Sparks cards that we're adding into the deck. Alright? Its attack can do 60 times the amount of lightning energies you have in play, and you discard them. For every one you discard, it does 60 times that amount. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 300, 360. If you know your 3 times tables, you can go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, etc. You know what I'm saying? Just add a 0 at the end. But he is, you know, at least decent because of what you could do and how you could do it. You know, to get those big KOs on Zard, on Dragapult, etc. We're going to show you why we included this back into the deck. I still don't like him. I don't like this card, and I don't like relying on it at all. But it's back in here because of what we could do with Surging Sparks. One copy of Blood Moon Ursaluna. Very good in-game card, especially in this deck. Especially in this deck. You've got to have him in this deck. It is so good, especially when you can't hit generators late game. and you have an energy in your hand and you only have 2 prizes and they have a 2-prize Pokemon, boom, you got it. You got a gusting card, you could gust up one of the 2 prizes, boom, you got it, 240. Finish the game. Alright. 1 copy of Pikachu EX. This is the new Terra Pokemon from Surging Sparks. Alright. We are using this card as a Terra Pokemon. Just as a Terra Pokemon. Nothing else. We're not using the attack. He's just in here serving as a Terra Pokemon. Just so we can expand our bench, get up to 8 Pokemon on our bench. This helps Raikou use his attack to basically beat Raging Bolt or do high amounts of damage. You know what I'm saying? So he's just here as a Terra Pokemon. His ability actually helps out a lot as well. So they just can't just sit there and one-shot him. They're going to have to leave him on the bench as a Terra, and he's just going to be sitting there for the whole entire game while they go after your main attackers. So he's going to sit there as a Terra and do his thing, and you're going to have the ability to just use that as an advantage to get off the things you want. Have an 8-bench Pokemon. Raikou becomes a very, very good attacker just because of this card. And Area 0 Underdepths. A 2/2 line of Magneton. Now, this is the way that we're going to get Raichu V powered up. Alright? We're going to give our opponent a prize, but we're going to give our opponent a prize, but we are going to put 3 energies into play and power up Raichu so that he can knock out the Big Zard or Dragapult or whatever big is standing in our way. We're going to be able to do that with Raichu. It's going to be kind of like Raichu's like a finisher, like a big finisher for a big KO. But this is how we're going to do it with this Magneton. Getting back 3 lightning energies or any energies to our lightning Pokemon any way we like. Very, very good. But this is how we're going to do it with Raikou. Not Raikou, I mean Raichu. Copy of Miraidon V. 1 copy of Latias EX. Alright. This card is very important in this deck because it gives all of our basics free retreat. So this card replaced the escape board in this deck. It gives all of our basics free retreat. So they can no longer, gust up Iron Hands or gust up your Zapdos or gust up anything to stall because of this guy. You can just free retreat everybody. All your basics. This whole deck is basics. Except for Magneton. But we're blowing Magneton up to get energies into play, so that's irrelevant. So you're able to retreat everything in this deck. That is amazing. Amazing. This is the perfect card for this deck. And his ability just makes this so much better. And you can search him out with Ultra Ball, search him out with Nest Ball. Very, very good. Squawkabilly doesn't need explaining. Discard your hand, draw 6, early game. You need this early game, especially if you go first and you don't have anything in your hand. Lifesaver. Copy of Pheasant Skippity Bee Toilet. We all know why he's in here. You get knocked out. He's on your bench. Boom. Your next turn, you draw 3 extra cards. Iono, whatever they do to you, is now irrelevant because now you can draw out of those dead hands that they try to give to you. You know. But honestly, we also have Mew in here. 1 copy of Mew. Honestly, with this deck, this combo is a little, how do I want to say it? It's a little shaky because you have lots of energies in this deck and you tend to draw just lots of energies. And what I found with this combo is that I just draw energies all day. I draw energies all day, every day. So, you know, sometimes you can draw the things that you need to get you out of those situations, and sometimes you can't. But you have to take the good with the bad. But this combo is still good for you to draw out of those dead hands, like Iono or Unfair Stamp, things like that. It's still good, and it's still good to have. 3 copies of Arven. Search for an item and a tool. Electric Generator, 4 Sealstone. Electric Generator. What's that card? Gosh. Oh, I cannot think of it. Oh, gosh. Bravery Charm. Electric Generator, Bravery Charm. Switch card, Counter Catcher. Any item that you would like to have, get with Arven. And tool. 2 copies of Iono. Iono is very good in this deck. This is a no research build. I hate research. As soon as I started building this deck, as soon as I put research in and used it, I instantly took it out and got rid of it. Instantly. I never put research in this deck ever again. Iono is just better. Because with this deck in your opening hands, you're going to be, not just your opening hands, but your hands in general. You're going to draw into a lot of energies just naturally. Alright? You draw into those energies. And what you could do with Iono, either early, mid, or even late, you could sit there and play Iono. Put those energies that you drew, all those energies that you drew into your hand, those 3, 4, 5 energies that you drew off your opening hand or whatever, you put them back into your deck. Alright? So the energies are back into your deck now. Then you can use something like Miraidon's ability to shuffle up the deck. Alright? And then, after that, then play a generator. You now have those energies that were in your hand back into the deck. You have more energies into the deck, and you have a better chance of hitting, you know, 1 to 2 energies off the generators, because all of those energies are back into the deck. So Iono is very good for that. Also, Iono is still decent disruption. Yes, you know, we still got Pheasantipity and things that they could get out of it, but make them have it. You got to make them have it. Make them draw it out. Make them draw it out. So still play these cards. Still disrupt your opponent. Make them have it. If they have it, okay. But make them have it. You know? Three copies of Boss's Orders. This deck is heavy gusting. Heavy aggressive, heavy gusting. All the time. You want to be gusting up those two prizers and knocking them out. You want to be as aggressive as you possibly can. You want to go for it. Four copies of Electric Generator, self-explanatory. This is the bread and butter of the deck. You want to be hitting your generators. Three copies of Nest Ball. Copies of Oach Ball. This will help you find your magnetons, by the way. Copies of Switch Card. You still want to be switching out your Pokemon. One copy of Prime Catcher. This is the A-spec of choice. This deck is heavy gusting. You want to be gusting up your opponent's Pokemon. Secret Box, no. Secret Box, no. Counter Catcher, yes. You want to be bringing them up. You really want to basically just drive it home. Aggressive, gusting. Bravery Charm. Alright? Give your Pokemon a little bit more HP. You know what I'm saying? Forest Seal Stone. Get any card in your deck. You can still play it. It's still good in this format. You've got 2 Raikou Vs. And you also have Lumineon in here. And you also have Raikou V. Not Raikou V. Raichu V in here now. That can also use this card. So you have plenty of targets. And we still got it in the format. Let's play it. Let's go through our deck to get any card we need. Two Area Zero Underdepths. Alright. This card, along with Pikachu EX, is going to extend our bench to 8. It's going to allow Raikou V to, attack for higher numbers. And that is very, very good. His attack is only 2 energies, a lightning and a colorless. So you can easily get him powered up. And he becomes a very big attacker. I just think that's amazing. I just think that's amazing. You don't have to do it right away. You can strategically play this whenever you need it. Doesn't have to be right away. You know what I'm saying? If you know you can go for it, go for it. If you know you can't go for it, then don't play the stadium. Keep your board as it is. You know what I'm saying? There's a strategy behind it. You just don't sit there and just, oh, I'm going to play it, get a full scale bench of 8, go in, and then just do the thing. You just don't willy-nilly play this and then play the Raikou and then just go in. Alright? There's a strategy behind it. You know what I'm saying? Use it when you need to use it. You don't have to have 8 bench Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. Most of the time you could keep your bench at 5 and still do what you need to do. But if you want to go 8, if you need to go 8, if you see you have to play, go for it. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but, I know a lot of players would just go in and be like, oh, I have Area Zero, I have this, I could do it, I'm going to go full scale 8. But, I'm going to go full scale 8, but don't have a reason behind going full scale 8. If you have a reason for having 8 bench Pokemon and wanting 8 bench Pokemon, then yeah, go for it. Like if you want to put down Magneton, let's say Magneton, Pheasantipity, Mew, you know, and have all the lightning Pokemon and do this. Like if you want to do everything, and if there's a reason behind you having 8, then do it. But if there's no reason and you're just doing it just to do it, then it totally becomes like a waste of time and a waste of space, and you just wasted this for no reason. There's a strategy behind everything in this deck. One copy of Double Turbo Energy for your Iron Hands. And 16 beautiful lightning energies. 16. You want to be hitting the Jennies all day, every day. All right. The 61st card. The 61st card in this deck is Super Rod. The 61st card in this deck is Super Rod. If I was going to cut something, I would cut it for Super Rod. Super Rod is still so good in this deck. Even with Magneton, now that you can put energies back into play, Super Rod is still good because you could Super Rod 3 energies back into your deck so that you could hit more with generators. You still want to be hitting with generators. Just having Magneton in the deck doesn't mean that it's okay for you to discard your energies. It doesn't mean that it's okay for you to not hit generators. You still want to be hitting generators. And that's the main point of this deck. So Super Rod belongs in this deck. So you can put 3 energies back so you can hit more with generators. You hit more with generators, your attackers are going in. This doesn't mean that you can't miss. This doesn't mean that you can miss generators and be okay with it. It's really only in here for Raichu. That's the only reason it's in here for. Everything else, you could just basically hit you could just basically hit Jennies and go off. And do whatever. Alright. But that is the deck profile. When we come back, I will do the layout, and you guys can see the layout of this deck. All right, guys, this is the layout. All right, got everything laid out nicely for you. You can see all of the counts in the deck. All right, I have thought a lot about this deck. Most of this deck you can actually play right now without the Pikachus, without the Magnetons. But you could run this deck with Air Zero Underdepths and still do well in this format with this deck. This deck with the Pikachu and the Magnetons in here allow you to do just a little bit of extra things to keep this deck rolling. Alright? With the heavy gusting in this deck, you have, you know, a very aggressive way of taking out your opponent's bench Pokemon. The 2 prizes you want to take out, the things that you want to do, you're able to do it. You're able to set up. You have ways to put energies back into your deck so you can use those generators like you really want to. You have Magneton to actually help you out to get energies back from your discard pile, if you so wish. You can use them, you know, you could use them on other Pokemon other than the Raichu if you want to, but it's mainly in here for the Raichu, so you can hit that big Charizard or big Dragapult or whatever. But yeah, I think this is very good for Miraidon moving forward. I still may play this deck. I really do like the other version of the Pikachu Noctowl deck. But if I was going full-scale Miraidon, this is where I would be playing. This is exactly the 60 I'll be playing. But I probably would cut something for a Super Rod and put Super Rod in here because it is just that good with helping me hit generators. Other than that, this is the deck list. This is the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoyed my little in-depth talk about some of these cards and why I play what I play. You know, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, make sure you take care of yourself and each other. Thank you.